All right. I think we are live, rocking and rolling. So, hey, I'm Calvin Allen. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're watching this, you're probably at Greenbrier Church and you are wanting to see a typical Sunday morning ProPresenter setup. So this is what I do for the different services, for Sunday services that is, in ProPresenter to get things basically set up at our church. All right, so that's open up ProPresenter. All right, it's loading. All right, first off, we need a playlist. I love ProPresenter because it integrates well with other software. One in particular that I really enjoy is Planning Center, and it connects with Planning Center. So if you have Planning Center, if you're on the AV team, you've already been invited in Planning Center to serve, and you're going to already see a run sheet, the order of everything, who's speaking, all of that good information that you need to know. So the beauty of the integration is there's a lot of different things as you are scrolling through the service that you'd have to input. So this integration saves a lot of time. So you go to the Planning Center Services section, and you go to the specific service you're wanting to select and place into ProPresenter. So right now, it is grabbing all the material that meets the required text. So let's say a song, Only King Forever. It's going to grab a file in here called Only King Forever because it believes it's that song file, and it's going to connect it. So you see that, wow, all these things are already connected and coming in. So that makes things a lot easier. So unfortunately, it's not always going to be perfect. So there are some things you have to do to get it fully set up. I'm going to disappear, but you can still hear my voice. All right, so up here, everything's looking good at the announcement loop. That's correct. All right, so this is incorrect. So we're going to go over here and select this and unlink this particular slide. So now it's blank, and it's giving us the ability to add a new slide that has the correct title. So you'll see it right here. We click that, and there we are. That's correct. All right, Only King Forever. It's going to come up like this, but this is just the regular master view. What we need to switch it to is the particular view that we're utilizing. This one's going to say, as an example, Calvin Allen leading version. So that's going to have everything built, everything in order from the verses to the video switcher loops to the choruses, bridges, all that good stuff. So you click that again, and now that is good. Everything is already set up for this, so we don't have to do much at all here, but we need to go through all the songs and do the same thing. We want to switch it to the Calvin Allen leading or whatever you want to title it. Everything's looking good because it's already set up. You'd have to do more if you didn't have the song in here, if you didn't have all the macro things set up. These are macros down here, by the way, that are moving around. They do a lot of awesome things. All right, so back to here, continuing the switching to the version order that we need for all of these. Perfect, great. So I want to rewind real quick. So this person, Calvin Allen, they're the person that's selected in Planning Center actually. So that's correct. I don't have to change anything. But let's say it was Joseph Smith or something, or someone else. You'd have to type in their name in here. Easiest way to go about it is quick edit, type their name in here. There you go. I'm not going to do that now because I don't need to. So now I'm back to all the slides, all the songs. Everything's correct. All right. So I know that this is not correct because it says communion right here, but it's saying worship right here. So I know something's incorrect. So I'm going to unlink this so I can link the correct one. All right. So now I have the right one there. It's the right people. Don't have to change the names. This is going to stay blank. Only need the name slide on one of these things. So that's correct now. And you see that this is not correct. Worship, host, what? It needs to be in sync. So we're going to grab the right one to have open there. All right, that's the right person, so I don't have to edit it because it's already good to go. All right, here, that's well, actually, that's a good thing. So right here, this is our announcements. This is what the host is going to share with our church as we go through the different slides. So hopefully you have looked in our email and have pulled out the little bundle that comes with the announcements and some video announcement loops as well. So you're going to click this to bring it in here. Now it's already in here, but I'm going to write over. I'm going to press apply to all. I'm writing over. So basically it's going to replace what I previously had. Press save, all that good stuff. All right. So now we have it in here. Going back to this playlist for this particular week. We see it down here, but we're not going to keep it there. A little shortcut that I do is I drag it up here. So it's next to that same spot that we were just at. I'm going to shrink this down a little bit. So we're going to get a different view. A whole different view. Actually, let's make it smaller. All right, so now we're going to see both things. This has a lot of automations that I use every single week already on the original one here. So I'm actually just going to drag that down here. Since it's the same background graphic, I don't need these. So I'm going to select both of these and delete. See ya. So now what I'm going to do is, except for this one, I'm going to select all of these. Oh. There we go. I've selected all of them. And now I'm going to go to transition and press dissolve. That way it's a nice smooth transition to each one of these. All right, and for those who don't know, the reason why it's duplicated like this is because this first view will be for in-house and online. This next view will only be for the in-house. Online is going to see the person who's in front of the camera again. So that way they see the face longer than they see the graphic, because they want to see the person. But for the people inside our church, they can see the face. They also want to see the graphic. So this enables us to have both. So what I do here to utilize both of them is I'm going to select every other one. Here we go. All right, and I'm going to right click and go into label. This is going to be the click me one. This will let me know that this is the one I want to click. Now I'm going to go into the go to next timer, and it's already on 5 seconds. Select. So now this is going to automatically switch to this one after 5 seconds. So the people online see the graphic, but then it goes back to the person. That's pull up a camera. So this is what it looked like. Pretend there's a person there. Here's the announcements. People in-house, people online are seeing it. And now online people are just seeing the human in front of the camera again. This very last one for our church, we probably need it up a little bit longer because we are reciting it together. God is good all the time. All the time God is good. He always gives good gifts, and he's always for our good. So we're going to go to the next time, go to next timer again. Make that 10 seconds. So now that is set up, but we don't want to keep it here. We're going to actually delete this one because it's not built in the Planning Center playlist that we created. So I'm actually going to remove this one now since we have the correct file, and I'm going to type in announcements, but you can actually already see that it's here. So I'm just going to select here, and bam, now it is populated in the correct spot within the timeline. So the next thing I need to do is make sure the rest of the stuff is correct. So this is our 120 seconds, our videos. Again, you would pull these in from here, and then you'd go over to the countdown section, and you'd add these in here. Something that you have to do with them is make sure that they are on foreground. So both of these need to be on foreground. And then you go inside of them and you edit it in the inspector. Something that I typically do is I bring the volume down -13 decibels, and then you have to route it differently. Initially, it's going to be a typical stereo left and right, ProPresenter or Pro Channel 1 and Pro Channel 2. But that channel is also going to the in-house audio, which we do not want it to for this particular slide. This music is only for online, so we remove it here, and then we add it to this next layer. You see these extra layers on the side? This is the typical regular stereo left and right 1 and 2 channel, but here's 3 and 4. And then 5 and 6, 7, 8. You can create a lot of channels. I think maybe up to 16 even, but really right now we just utilize channel 1 and 2 for things we want to hear in-house and online, and then we utilize channel 3 and 4 for things we only want heard online. So both of these are going to be routed to 3 and 4, and that's going to be the same for both of these slides, these videos. Then they're already dragged into the right spot, so I'm not going to drag them in. The longer one goes up here, so this guy goes up here, and then for the 120 seconds, this shorter one goes right here. So now we're back. Worship, message, oh, that's not correct, so let's remove this, unlink it, and then we're going to add the correct one. There we are, and it's already the correct person, so I don't need to change the slides. Message lights, for message, that is not what we want to utilize. So what we're going to do is unlink, and we're going to add. Now I've already added the sermon in here. I'm going to type in sermon, and it's going to bring the one I select up. So now this is in here. I'm going to make this real, oops, wrong one. I'm going to open this up now, and I'm going to go back to that sermon. Got to click it when I change the view because it'll go somewhere else. So now I'm back here, and you'll see these little boxes that indicates that the transition's already on. Something that I also have to do each time at the beginning, you see this graphic right here. There's going to be another graphic that you want to put right on this first slide. I already have it in here, but I'm going to drag this up here. What that is going to do is, all right, we're here. We're on our message look. So now when I go over here, well, actually, I'm going to put a 10-second timer on here as well, just in case someone forgets and then it's stuck on there and the people online don't see the beautiful face that's on this camera. So here, let's say it was 10 seconds, so it'll fade over here. Let's go to our first announcement, or I'm sorry, message point. All right, online it's going to look like this. We want to make sure it looks like this. That has to do with looks and different things that I'm not going to go into right now, but this is why we need the graphic on here in the background, so that way this screen over here has that picture that we already dragged in here, and so on and so forth. We want to have all the slides have the dissolve thing, this dissolve fade, except for when it's a slide that is a continuing text. So you see the ... here and the ... here. That shows you that these are connected, and so they can get to the next part of the text quicker. I don't have the dissolve. It's a hard cut, so it goes right there, so it's easy for the reader to read it quickly as they're going through. So this is an example, ... here, ... here, ... here, and so on and so forth. All right, so now that we have that, we have different things going on here. We have a special announcement here. It'll be most likely a specific person who is going to do that one. So this is a little different than normal, but we are going to add just a slide that we wouldn't typically use. I'm going to use extra. And there we go. It already has the name that I need, so don't have to do anything else. Something else that I need to add: special announcement, closing prayer. That section will typically have the closing prayer link, and you're going to want to make sure that it's on these. It's going to go back to the main camera. You press this, and then when you're ready to start triggering all the other stuff, you'll click this one. It's going to automatically go here. All right, so we're almost done with everything that needs to be in here. The next thing that needs to be added is in the presentation section, and that is our video switcher input stuff. So I'm going to use the command key to select both of these. So video input switcher and video inputs. I'm going to drag it into here. So this one, even though it's not in the actual playlist that Planning Center created, I'm going to keep it in here because this is a crucial part of the video switching that happens during worship. As an example, during a chorus or during the verses, there's usually more room, there's more text, so I can put the different camera angles on the individual slides. But during the chorus, usually there's less text and it repeats quickly. So instead of having to try to put the video inputs on the slides, I'm going to create or press this, and normally you'd see the announcement layer be highlighted red now. The reason why it's not is because I have to go into software called Companion. I'm going to close that real quick, and I'm going to reopen. All right. Log in here. All right, so I'm going to go to the buttons, go over here, go to Pro 7. So I'm going over here, and this is weird. It basically starts with 0. So even though this says 25, think 24. So the first one, the video switcher loop, since that is down here is 24, I'm going to actually make it 23. So you see it says 22 there. I'm going to make it 23. And then these are all a part of the last one. So they're going to be 24. Awesome. So now I'm going to close this out. And now you're going to see that when I'm on here and I select that video switcher loop, now you see the announcement layer highlighted. So glad it's working. It'd be awkward since I'm live streaming this right now if it wasn't working after explaining how it should work. All right, so that works. And I can just close that because I don't need it to do the video switching. But actually, real quick, I'll let you see what's happening. The announcement layer, it's not intended for this, but basically, let's say you had graphics you wanted to show in your sanctuary, and then you had announcement graphics you wanted to show that were separate, and you wanted to loop them out in your foyer. That's initially what the announcement layer was created for, so you could have separate content on separate screens doing separate things at the same time without interfering with each other. But what I was able to utilize with this is put a video switcher kind of thing where I'm using the go to next timer, video inputs, and macro cues to switch between the camera angles. So it looks like we have somebody switching to multiple different cameras. There's things with the macros and companion going on in the background that actually turns our pan, tilt, zoom camera around in the background. The audience online does not see it, but over here you can see this will switch to a different camera angle once a certain slide is triggered over here. So I'll just give a second for that to trigger something. Right now, nothing is happening with the trigger, but let's say I was right here. Oh, that's another funny thing. So This is fun when it happens when you're live. So I'm going to go in here, go to devices. All right, we're all connected up here. Making sure this is all working correctly. I'm just going to close this and reopen it. I might actually have to close ProPresenter real quick. Sometimes when things don't work, you just have to turn it off and then turn it back on. All right, I'm going to put this back in the dark. I don't know if that's going to help. All right. All right, so these are still not working. So I'm going to close ProPresenter and reopen it, and that should fix that. Or maybe we'll get to live stream, figure out something that's going wrong. That'd be hilarious. All right. Now we're back. It's going to load up. It's doing its thing. Oh, that's hilarious. Now I remember why. So, the reason why it's not changing is because I don't have it on a setting for it to do anything different. Let's say I press this one. Look at that. It's switched. These are different settings that I have. The reason why it's not doing anything separate is I've saved the same angle on both of these because we were down a singer the other week and I wanted it to not showcase nobody. So I made it so both views showed the same person each time. So this Sunday will be different, but I don't have the people on stage right now, so I'm not going to switch the angles and all that stuff. But that's why that wasn't working. It actually does work. As you can see, it's switching around. It's just because these two are identical right now, but they won't be during a typical service. So now we're back in here. Everything is running correctly. Press the slide again with, oh, look at that. Press that. Announcement layer is working. Cool. I'm going to make this smaller again so that way you can see things easier. So, all right, real quick before I end this live stream, something that's helpful when we're live, there's these different views that we can utilize in ProPresenter. This is easier for the typical stuff as you start the service, but let's say you get down to the message time, and the message slides are kind of hard to see sometimes. There's a view that you can go to called Table View that makes the text a lot bigger, but you can still see the original graphic. So let's say there's a picture on here like this. You'll see the graphic here, but you'll also see the text. Let's say there was a text here. There isn't, but let's say if there was, it'd look like this. If you go here, you can see the text, but you can't see the graphic. So if there was a picture that you needed to see, it would show up as blank, as it does here, and you wouldn't know what's going on, or right here. So this is a better view to utilize, so you can see everything, and you can press this, and this, and this, or you can press the right button on your keyboard, and that will go down. Or if you're in this regular view, it would go right. So a few other things that we have to check. There is a thing that's triggered here on the closing prayer slide stuff, that it's going to go into a prop that is showing a motion background or a video with announcements looping. I already have it on here, but let's say I didn't have it on here. All right, I need to add it. It's the end of service video. I go to this plus sign, go to media. I'm going to go to my download files because that's where it's currently at. And I'm going to use the shorter video. You're going to easily be able to see it because it's less memory or space storage. Not as large of a file. So I'm selecting that. Let's do new version. And now I'm going to go to the build in. So that way it's a nice smooth dissolve into it. And now I'm going to go into the actual slide and go to Inspector. And I don't need sound for this, so I'm going to mute it. So it's muted. It's just going to keep looping once the video ends, and everything is good for there. So something else that I like to do that makes things easier for Sunday, one thing is I keep the video inputs on down here. You won't be able to see my iPad, but there's some settings on the iPad that enable you to switch camera angles as well. That's what this second one is right here. This enables me to switch things from an iPad, but I'm not going to press these right now. I just showed you the video input switcher. But actually, why not? I'm going to grab that iPad. You can't see it? Well, real quick, I'm going to show it to you on the camera. Here I am again. I'm going to open the iPad real quick. All right. So now you see these fun little things. The yellow and green side, that's going to show the different camera angles that you can switch to. So I'm going to press some of these. And you're going to see the cameras change. You see that? See the camera changing? That's a pretty fun, nifty thing. But just in case you weren't using the iPad, you can just press it down here on these guys right here. All right. So pretty much everything is in here and set up and ready to go for a Sunday morning. One more thing that I like to do, things happen on Sunday mornings, we lose track of time. Something that I try to do to make things easier and more automated is there's this calendar section or feature, and I already have them built in. I'm going to delete this one, delete that one, delete that one. So this is the newest week. I'd normally have to press this plus sign, then it'd be blank. I type in the name, I type in the date and time. So 9:44 a.m. is when I want it to start every Sunday for the specific slide. So this one's for this coming Sunday. And I'm going to go to playlist, and it's the only one in there, so that makes it easier. But I'm going to go from there to online announcement loop, and you're going to see something on the top left-hand appear. So I've selected that, and now you see this little icon that lets you know that you have scheduled this to trigger this specific slide at 9:44 a.m. on that Sunday, August 27th. So that way, let's say the AV tech, you are in the bathroom, or you're talking to someone, or you had to get a coffee, or some weird thing happened, it would automatically trigger that. So that way our online video encoder that's also automated on a time schedule will start, and this will start at the same time, so that way our online viewers will have the service start at the normal time it would for them to see everything. So this is everything that you would need to grab and pull in here in ProPresenter for our Sunday morning setup. There's more things going on. There's deeper levels, as I said earlier. Here's macros. Macros basically takes MIDI signals and other types of signals and makes it an easy labeled one button kind of thing that you can put on particular slides. So you'll see these little M's that stand for macro on these different slides. They do different things. There's all these other little funny looking icons that do different automations when you press it to go to different views for online, different views for in-person, triggers the changing of our LED lights in our church building. So that way it's all on one computer, it's all very seamless, so that the person that's doing the presentation and the lights and online stuff can do it with ease. So that will help you navigate through what it looks like to build a typical Sunday morning setup with everything as far as macros and all that stuff already being intact and most of the songs already being in ProPresenter for you, that will be the other steps you will have to go through to get everything set up. So I know that was a lot. I know I was with my words sometimes. That's okay. You can pause, you can rewind and look a little closer at what I was pointing to, or you can, since this is online on YouTube, you can just slow the speed down so I'm talking in slow motion as I'm going through these different things. But yes, it's a long video, but I hope it's helpful. And if you have any questions, leave a comment in the comment section. Maybe I'll start having more tutorial videos with ProPresenter or different things that we utilize at Greenbrier, so that way people could be set up. Maybe you're at a different church and you want to do similar things like this. Let me know in the comments, not compliments. You can compliment me in the comments if you want, but you can reach out to me in the comments if you want, and I'd love to reach out or connect, see how I can help you with ProPresenter, because I love how intricate it can get and how it can really serve your church well. So I hope this is helpful. Be blessed. Know that the Lord is for you. He loves you, and He wants you to know His goodness and His mercy, and the life that He has called you to is an amazing one. So surrender to Him, because it's the best way to go. All right. Have a good one. Bye.